What is the most common misconception about CLA?
Is Greg Souders full of shit? What's up, guys? So, as most of you know, you've seen on the YouTube channel this week, this will be my third video and probably last video talking about my experience at Greg Souders' gym, the Ecological Approach gym, or the CLA Constraints-Led Approach gym. Well, actually, I guess this is my first video actually talking about my experience. There was a interview video, and then there was Greg helping me design some games for wrestling video, and then also him helping me understand the difference between that there are multiple games. I had no idea that that was even a thing, but gladly, now I know it is a thing. There are multiple different types of games. At least at his gym, they teach terminal and continuous games, and it's something that really fascinated me, especially after my training experience there. So, got notes as always, but I want to start with some of the funniest, well, I'll start with one of the funniest comments that one of you guys put down, and I'll talk about it a little bit because I think it's kind of good, you know, to spread, let's say, the word a little bit, right? I got a message from one of my friends who actually runs an eco gym. Not going to name names, but the message is a screenshot of a now deleted YouTube comment. I guess he started to get roasted or something on YouTube. I don't really know, but I tried to find this comment, couldn't find it. I'll show you guys a screenshot, but he says,
Eco is for lazy retards who don't want to drill but want to take the easy road and pretend that they are learning the right way.
So I'll just start the message with this because I think there's a lot of people like this. That's probably one of my top videos ever. And I'll say this, eco is not for lazy people. This is probably the most common misconception. We talked about this. Man, it is hard. It is really hard work. And it's not hard like, okay guys, we shake hands and we go porrada and we fight each other to the death. It's not that. I think what makes it so hard is like the intricacies of the task focus, right? The demands of the task, right? Especially being like a younger guy, a younger grappler, I have the capacity to go a little bit harder, to do a bit longer with less breaks and stuff, but man, eco is hard. If you are a lazy person, I think I would rather be the guy doing shrimps and front rolls down the mat where you're really not using too much energy and then doing, you know, lazy half guard passing drills than to actually be actively doing something and learning. Now, does that mean I'm completely against drilling? Not at all. I've told Greg this, I've told other people this. Even after my experience, I personally enjoy a little bit of drilling here and there, filling some things out, but I've never, well, I would say this, in Jiu-Jitsu, I'm not one to drill quite a lot, to be completely honest with you. I talk a little bit more about my process and stuff in that interview, but essentially I do a lot of brainstorming, which means maybe I'll say me and a friend Sean will be like, okay, I'm having problems with the false reap. What are some things you like to do here? We'll play around with it. We'll do a little bit of resistance. I always, like I told Greg, I call this my fake constraints-led approach, but you'll never ever see me just doing drills to drill. You'll never see me doing speed drills unless maybe I'm at PSF or I'm at somewhere where I'm doing a camp and they're just like, do the drills. And it's honestly, I don't really want to do those things. I don't have fun with them and I don't actually feel that they're that productive. I just feel like they kind of beat me up for no reason. But do I hate drilling completely? Definitely not. Now that we've gotten past that, I have a couple points. As always, you guys know I have the phone here. This might be a little bit longer of a video, but it's worth it if you actually care. First thing, misconception, right? Everyone thinks that Greg is a asshole. Now, I will say, Greg gets baited. We've talked about it a lot. He is baited, but he's also a human, and when someone is constantly attacking you for what you do, it's hard not to respond aggressively. Now, do I think Greg's always in the right? No, not at all. I think that can be hard. I mean, think about it. I'm a social media guy. I get attacked every day. I get attacked so much, it's ridiculous, by people who've probably never stepped foot on a wrestling match. I get told I suck ass because I wrestled in the NAI. I get told I'm shit because all I did was qualify for ADCC. I didn't actually place. It's just kind of the nature of things where people who are actually really terrible have the ability to communicate with people who are much better than them and have these opinions. And then the worst part with Greg is even though I get it a lot, I think because CLA has become really popular, it's become a buzz thing to say, a buzz thing to talk about, more in particular Ecological Approach, he's getting attacked a lot. And so it does become frustrating. And so when people go and have these questions where they're leaning towards bait, they're bait questions, yeah, sometimes he responds I would honestly say probably the way maybe he shouldn't, but I understand how he feels, and lots of people dehumanize Greg and because they see him be aggressive with his responses, but it's only because what you guys might be seeing in those aggressive responses aren't the thousands of other shitty, toxic things that people say to Greg, which also, I'll say this, is never to his face. So yeah, it's frustrating, and I guess it's just a part of social media. It's just a bunch of turds who like to attack people. I was a guy who disagreed with Greg, right? Maybe I'll try to find the message and show you I completely disagree with Greg. I was just like, man, this is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. This would never really work if you want to be good at something. And then I found out I was completely wrong. Like when I went and trained, I was like, yo, this makes sense. I trained with multiple of his students that didn't do anything but CLA. I've trained with students who had transferred from other gyms and then became CLA. And everyone had the same response to me. Well, this is so fucking productive. You know, compared to what I was doing, this is extremely productive. And so for people saying, well, it's just outright does not work. Number one, most of the time you don't even know what it is. You're gonna say that it's situational rolling, which it's really not. They do situational rolling. That's something they do, right? But they don't call the situational rolling CLA. You see, it's completely different, right? But Greg is a really nice guy, and I wanted to put that out there. He's a really cool, humble guy, and if you talk to him like a person and don't talk to him like he's a rat, then you actually can have like a beneficial conversation, and you guys might disagree. Again, I said I like to, you know, we're right here in my mat room at home. Sometimes I like to just grab my girlfriend and drill something I saw from an instructional, or drill something that I'm feeling. It's just me. Greg doesn't do that. That's cool. We have differences of opinion on that. But do I think Greg is a piece of shit and an idiot? No, not at all. In fact, when I went to do CLA, I was like, I would rather do that 99.9% of the time over doing the drilling that I have. I found myself in this rut where I feel like traditional classes are just becoming so useless and boring, and not only just boring but just unproductive. And when I was there, nothing ever felt unproductive. Going back on the thing about the situational, everyone just thinks CLA is situational. I thought this too. I was wrong. It's not situational at all. It's extremely task focused, right? Good example we talked about in the interview with Greg was how we would start with legs around legs, right? Starting from bottom position, essentially De La Hiva or reverse De La Hiva, and my goal was to either get my partner's butt to the mat or continuously get my partner's hand to the floor, right? Hand to the floor was my continuous game. It's like if I can get their hands touched, just keep going. And then if I can get their butt touched, that's terminal win. I didn't know it was very specific. I never really did rounds like that. Even more specific, it's talking about like you want to hit a goal, right? It's in wrestling, though, we might say, all right, guys, hand fight to a leg. That's actually a really good example of a terminal game in Jiu-Jitsu that we actually did a lot when I wrestled in college. Be like hand fight to leg, that's it. Whereas an example of a situational game would be like, all right, guys, starting 50-50, go. Okay, well that's not actually a game, right? It's just a situational, right? Whereas like a game 50-50 would be like, all right guys, starting 50-50, one partner's goal is to attach a hand, is to capture the toes. Other partner's goal is to now is to build up to one knee and get their leg up, right? So now we both have terminal goals. One partner's trying to capture the toes. That's a terminal win. Other partner's goal is you just build height, not escape, just build height. That's a win. Once those conditions are met, we reset and the other person will go. This is, if you're still listening to this and you're like, that's just a situational, Brandon. Okay, bro, whatever, do you, right? This was my misconception. It's completely different. The thing I always hear is Greg only has a few good athletes. I'm just gonna name a few, right? Just from the males. I forgot the female's name. I apologize, but she's a black belt world champion. I didn't really talk to her, so can't remember the name. But you have DeAndre, you have Gavin, you have Brian, you have Sid, you have Noah. You have so much more. There's more good guys here than most of the good gyms I've gone to. Like most of the guys in this gym would absolutely smash most of the guys in other gyms. And now everyone's gonna say, oh, well, these guys came from these all. Man, it's such an oversimplification to say that these guys were great because of some of the gyms they used to go to. I think the best example, at least on the male side, is Noah. I don't know if Noah will watch this video. Noah started with CLA. He's only done CLA. The dude is a savage. I believe he's a purple belt or brown belt now, but he's never done anything before. He didn't wrestle before. He didn't train at Gracie. He didn't train at any other jiu-jitsu gym before. The dude is a savage. Would I ever go full CLA? Lots of people ask me this. Chewy asked me this. Other people ask me this. I don't know. I really don't know. I think this is a journey. I'm figuring it out because, like I said, I do love to watch instructionals. I sell instructionals. I do like a little bit of non-resistant drilling. Now, do I like speed drilling? No, I think it's so freaking stupid and such a waste of time, speed drilling. I think it's not, I mean, maybe you use it for conditioning, but you can just roll for conditioning. You can just hit the assault bite for conditioning. I hate speed drills. I think they create bad habits. I think speed drills make people lazy. And this is, again, coming from a guy in college who was doing speed drills all the time. Like, with further reflection, I'm like, man, they're kind of pointless. As I said earlier, I like to watch instructionals. I like to just kind of fill stuff out. And I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. I don't have the science behind anything that I'm saying. I'm just saying it's something I enjoy doing. I do enjoy teaching technique. When I go to seminars, I love teaching people duck unders. I love teaching people slide bys. I love teaching people double legs, right? So I don't think that's ever gonna go away from me, but maybe it does. I really don't know. That's part about being human, being humble, and just saying that I don't really know what's gonna happen in the future. But right now, the big thing is that I'm just gonna be implementing CLA games into all of my seminars and all of my instructionals and all of my classes, right? So I'm gonna have my normal technique. For me, technique are idealized versions of solutions. These are the things that we want to do in order to reach an end goal. Now, I think the reason that adding CLA to this is because a lot of the idealized versions of techniques just don't happen to work in most situations, and having CLA as a part of your practice is a great way to, I don't know, help people develop real feels, real looks, etc., etc. And it's not, again, it's not just like, all right, guys, we started on the leg, go to the takedown. It's not just that. After I went and visited, I was like, oh, there's a much better way to do this than what I was trying to do, right? So yeah, for sure, I'll still have my people drill techniques. It just is what it is. It's what I still like it. I still think it's good. I think it's fun. I think it's good to have idealized version of techniques. I think it can make people better, but I don't have any science to back that up. I'm not saying I'm right. I know that if I could choose, I would do 100% of my own personal training CLA. I don't know. I know it sounds ridiculous. I would say 99.9% with a little bit of technical drilling here and there. And then as I get older, when I open a gym and stuff, it's like, I don't know what that's gonna look like for me. If it's gonna be all CLA or if it's gonna be drilling and CLA. Most likely it's still gonna end up being some level of technical drilling with mostly CLA. I just think a lot of times we over drill. I think you could drill something for 10 minutes and then just do CLA for the rest of the class and get a lot more out of it. Now, again, this is an uninformed opinion. I am not a scientist. I have not studied. I'm not Rob Gray. I'm not Greg Souders. I'm none of these people. But I found so much value in it that it really changed my mind, you know, and that's not humiliating thing, but it's a humbling thing to say. I had my mind changed. I completely disagreed with Greg. I really did. When I went to the gym, everyone was like, oh, you're that guy who was like shit talking Greg. And it's like, yeah, dude, I was shit talking Greg, and I was wrong. I misunderstood the guy, and it's that he can be a little emotional. But in real life, the dude is super cool. He's super kind. He's very humble. And last thing is, like, he keeps it very simple when we're in practice, right? It was like, we're in and we're out. Like, all right, guys, your goal is start standing, get around, get past your partner, try to get chest to chest. So you start standing, you're now allowed to go to your knees, get chest to chest. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. And then it's 10 minutes on the clock. And that's just an example of, all right, we start with the games, we go, we're immediate, you're in and out in an hour. There's not these 7-minute long explanations of techniques. And I found that really productive. I felt like there was no wasted time, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, freaking having a little breakout here. Got a little sick. I've just been flying every other freaking day and driving hours and hours every other day, so broke out a little bit. I'm sure some of you guys noticed it. Is what it is. I'm not training for a couple days while this clears up. Then I'm heading out to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia to do some seminars where, again, we'll do technique, but we'll also do a lot of CLA games. And then I'll head to North Carolina, same thing, technique, then some CLA games. And then we head to Europe, lots of technique, lots of CLA games. And I really look forward to sharing my experience with all you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Try to keep an open mind, try to be humble, and before you put a mean comment about Greg in the comments, maybe do your due diligence, go visit him, stop talking shit in the comments, go fly out to his gym, go fly out to Standard, train for a week, and then come back with an informed message. Thank you guys for watching.